My name is Bill Story, and welcome to this Olderhood podcast series called Going Through the Retirement Door Successfully. This podcast series is brought to you by Olderhood.com, which is a leading online retirement community with over 70,000 followers around the world. Olderhood is for people approaching retirement and for people already in retirement. This podcast is therefore appropriate for both pre-retirees and post-retirees. Our blog is called Olderhood, and we have several Facebook pages, LinkedIn, Pinterest, and Olderhood clubs around the world. We write our own articles and produce and host videos, podcasts, television shows. We also provide retirement coaching services and retirement readiness assessments. The purpose of this retirement series is to focus on a range of concerns and observations about life in the retirement years, and in particular, to concentrate on the emotional impact of those issues, such as health, family issues, filling the day, boredom, still being useful in society, longevity, mortality, etc. We don't provide formal financial advice, but obviously the psychological impact of money problems is a major component of retirement life. I hope you'll find our style of podcast more relaxed and casual. We're not newsreaders, but prefer to chat with our members in a more normal and comfortable fashion. Okay, enough said. Let's get started. This episode is titled Boredom in Retirement. The more I speak to people of my own age who are either in retirement or close to it, the more I realize that some of them, many of them, perhaps even most of them, have this paranoia about being bored with too little to do in their retirement years. When they had a full-time job, they had to go to their workplace every day, so they were forced to get up and get going. Now, with so much time in their hands, they have no external driving force pushing them along. Self-motivation takes on a much deeper meaning at this age than at any other time in their lives. People are controlled, you might say, within a structured social framework for all of their working lives. The framework has typically been designed and built by someone else, an entrepreneur in the capitalist system, a government in other systems. You show up, you work, you get paid, you go home. The following day you repeat the entire process all over again. It's not that much more complicated than that. In other words, others think for you. But now in retirement, it's your turn. You could decide to sit at home all day and read newspapers or books or watch TV or sleep. Yikes. On the other hand, you could make your own decisions about creating a new lifestyle. You could reinvent yourself, whatever that means. I detest that phrase. I think I'll turn myself into a lead guitarist with a rock band. Dream on. People talk about gardening, hobbies, travelling, spending more time with family, etc. when they enter retirement. Nothing wrong with any of those, to be honest. However, if you decide to start those things solely because you have the time now, then you will inevitably run out of interest at some point. You may also run out of steam as well. There has to be an inner peace of mind that what you are doing really does appeal to your character and your lifestyle. Yet, a common mistake many people make is to think that by starting something new, you're tied to it for the rest of your life. Not so. If you can say to yourself, I'm willing to give it a shot, and if it works out, then fine. But if after a period of time I discover that I don't really like it, then I won't beat myself up by saying I failed. I'll simply move on to something else. It really isn't any more complex than that. Studies show that the most troublesome issue in retirement is boredom. Not health, not money, just boredom. In fact, the increase in alcoholism in the retirement years, as is the case in many situations, is largely driven by being bored. The sudden feeling of emptiness experienced by the person who was very active in the workplace can be a serious problem. Many years ago, I knew a man in London who had just retired. He had been a big hitter in insurance for all his career, and clearly was not hurting financially. He had married late in life and had 2 sons, I think, in his late 40s, as I recall. Over lunch one day he told me about his plans to travel and take time to see places he had been in before but hadn't stayed long enough. He said, I'd been in Paris countless times, but I've never seen the Eiffel Tower up close. From a distance, of course, but not standing underneath it. We lost touch, mainly because he was no longer in the company I did business with. But I met him about 3 or 4 years later at a cocktail party. He had lots of grey hair and a beard and was dressed fairly casual. Needless to say, I asked how retirement was going, and he told me. He was divorced, living alone in a small apartment outside of London. He did his garden, he volunteered a day or two each week. He didn't travel at all. He never saw his sons. I am utterly bored, he said. I'd be just as well being dead. Wow. I realised this was serious and that perhaps I should move away, but I stayed and we talked for the next hour or so about life and retirement from his perspective. It was not fun. Retirement happiness will never be found if you force yourself to ask, are we having fun yet? You will be kidding yourself that this is the retirement lifestyle you always dreamed about. And as such, this is what you want to do for the rest of your life. Face the facts. You can't lie to yourself. Ask yourself this question. Do I really want to spend the rest of my life, or at least the next few years, doing things that I don't really enjoy? Here's today's takeaway. Boredom is one of those issues that some people refer to with humour, while others recognise it as a serious issue which can easily develop anxiety and even depression. It is not to be treated lightly, and if you feel that it's becoming more of a problem, then please seek professional help. Okay, that's it for this episode. Next time we'll chat about other specific issues and features of retirement life, and with any luck, we might be able to help you get through that door successfully. Contact me at bill@olderhood.com or visit our website at www.theolderhoodgroup.com. Bye for now. I'm Bill Story, now signing off. Take care.